started today standing actually. So where did I just put the workout? Oh, it's right here. Okay. All right. So we've got about a 10-minute warm up that we're going to make happen for today's workout. You don't need any equipment for yourself. Very open to your feedback afterwards. If there's something more that you're looking for, if this is a regular class that you come to, I'm very happy to change the structure of what we're doing. We're going to start off nice and slow. We've got 1 minute for every move, and then we're just going to transition right into the next move. So if you need to take a break during these first 10 minutes, take as many breaks as you need to. Come back in as you're ready. We're going to go ahead and get started with some jumping jacks. So our first move starts right now. I'm going to go for a modified jumping jack because if you've never met me before, hi y'all, my name's Jessica. I'm the health fitness program manager at MITRE in McLean, and I have a neighbor below me that I need to be really mindful of. So I'm doing a lower intensity movement, but if you have the opportunity to go for a real jumping jack, you go for that real jumping jack. Either way, we're gonna up the ante of this move just a little bit in under a minute, and I'm gonna give everyone a way to make it slightly more intense. If you're just stepping out laterally, side to side like me, really focus on that control, pulling your belly in already, bringing those arms all the way up overhead. If you've been sitting at your desk all day, your shoulders might already start to be tired. Remember, you can take a break when you need to and jump back when you're ready. Keep breathing. Make sure you're not holding your breath. Next, we're going to turn this into a squat with a sidestep. So a quick 10-second break, squat, and then either back to a jack or squat into a side leg extension. If you need to keep the intensity low, begin. You can always squat and tap it out, or join me in really focusing on squeezing your glute to get that leg to lift up. So you're not just kicking through that heel. Maybe you need to slow down a little more. Forgot to tell you that you're welcome to turn music on. I'm not going to be playing any music so you can hear me and maybe the bird as much as possible. Keep breathing, keep moving through this during your squat. Focus on bringing the weight to your heels, and again, keeping that belly pulled in nice and tight. Getting some total body movement to start, just to warm up your whole body today. Yay! Thanks for coming, y'all. Keep breathing, almost there. Get a quick 10-second break between each move. Just find the side leg extension if you're going for that option that works for you. All right, next up we have some soldier walks. So you're just gonna kick forward, get that leg up nice and high, march back, and kick the opposite leg forward. Begin. You can kick as low or as high as feels comfortable for you. Resist the urge though to hinge forward and reach for that foot. I want you to keep that chest up nice and high. Starting to get a little bit of a stretch in your hamstring too, which is probably pretty tight if you've been sitting in a chair all day. Make sure, once again, you got that stomach sucked in from that lower belly, so there's still plenty of room to move. Turning this into more of an ab move in just about 20 seconds. We're gonna add in a nice big knee drive and a twist. So we're just warming up that lower half, that back side of the body, maybe even just finding a little lift in that chest. Using my exhale as that leg lifts up. Gonna continue with that, take a break right now as we just march, knee drive, 2, 3, knee. 3 steps and then knee. Ready? Begin. If you want to make this more intense, you can also add in a hop as you drive that knee up, or just focus on really getting as much of a twist through your core as possible. And find the twist through your core, not just a turning of those shoulders. The rotation is coming from your waist. So again, work to drive that knee as high as you can. Starting to challenge your balance a little bit too. Can you keep a smile on your face? It's okay if you can't. It's awesome if you push yourself so hard. Maybe you need to let out a little scream or a little curse. As long as your microphone's off, I don't mind. Keep moving. Remember, you can add in that little hop or take out the step from side to side if you want to work a little bit more intensely. 3 seconds left. Enjoy your quick little 10-second break. Shake it out as you open your feet nice and wide. Extend your arms to the side. Next, we're going to go for a bent over twist. I want you to focus on really keeping the outer edges of your feet down on the floor, and also weight towards the heel of your foot. So keep that stomach sucked in. If you can't reach all the way down towards the floor, that's okay. You can even bring a slight bend to your knee if you need to really focus, once again, on bringing the weight into your heel and not just towards the ball of the foot. Do you feel that heart rate starting to come up? If you don't, you can always move a little bit faster, especially if you've got some music going. Find the pace that works for you and your body today. Warming up the sides of our body. Coming up next, we have a standing side crunch. Awesome. Lift yourself up. Take your time to lift up. Standing side crunch, arms at the side. You're going to drive that knee towards your head. We'll do 30 seconds on one side to begin, and then 30 seconds to the other. If you want, you can even think about bringing your elbow towards the inside and then the outside of the thigh. And again, we're getting that knee drive here, getting some ab work, a little balance work. And you can move as fast as feels good for you. Get ready to switch in 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Other side. So you're really bringing that lower rib towards your hip. If your arm was straight, everything is twisting. You're not just crunching down with your elbow. You're really decreasing that space between your rib and your hip. Keep the weight, once again, in your heel. Belly's tight. By not actually having our hands on our heads, we just get to work that upper body a little more. Take a quick little break. Next up, we have inchworms, working our way down towards the floor. So come to the back of your space, pull that belly in tight and begin. Hinge forward with your stomach sucked in. Walk yourself out into a plank, shift your weight forward. Stomach still sucked in, walk yourself back. Lift yourself up. If you want, you can even press onto your toes at the top. Really challenge your balance. Or you can eliminate standing all the way up if you need to. And again, you're just moving at the pace that feels right for your body today. We're halfway there. We're going to stay down in that plank form. After this, coming up next is mountain climbers. Make sure you're shifting that weight forward as you come through your inchworm. Inchworm all the way into plank. 10 seconds left. And then either stop or make your way down to the floor. Great, 10 seconds to make your way down to the floor. You have some options for your mountain climbers. If you need to take it easier on yourself, you can always be on your knees here, just working to drive that knee up. Or begin with me, whatever you can do. In a plank, you can move slow, you can move fast. I like to move slow, find a little bit of hold, extra little squeeze, keeping those hands, palms right underneath of the shoulders. And you can do the same thing from your knees to work to drive your knee towards that elbow, maybe even touch it, still keeping the weight forward. Just as challenging right here in tabletop if you really think about pressing your hands, palms into the floor, finding that engagement through your upper body, focusing again on keeping that core tight. We got less than 20 seconds right here. This is our last plank. So if you can come back onto your toes, go for it. 3, 2, 1. Great. Next, we're going to lower ourselves down to the floor. 2 more moves, and then we'll take a little break. We got Supermans. Depending on how much space you have, you can extend your arms out or keep them by your side. Focus on lifting your chest. Begin. You can keep this easier on yourself, pressing the tops of your feet down into the floor. Can you get your kneecaps to lift up? Even a squeeze of your glutes. Having those feet on the floor will make it easier to focus on the back core. To use that exhale to find that lift. Keep your eyes down on the floor. If you want to work a little bit harder, lift those feet up along with your upper body. Really make sure that you're working with control, both on your lift up and as you lower yourself back down to the floor. Make sure you're still breathing. We got one more move after this, and it's push-ups, but we're gonna include, take a break, we're gonna include this back work in your push-up. Unless you need to do your push-up on your knees in tabletop, you can always do a push-up. Begin in tabletop or on your knees, come all the way down, find your Superman, press yourself back up. We've started. If push-ups are a real challenge for you though, and you can't be on your knees or on your toes, just take out the extra back extension right here. Make sure you're bringing your body down in a nice straight line, not allowing your hips to come down first. Last move, y'all. 20 seconds left. Push yourself right here. See if you can really find an extra lift in your Superman. Keep breathing, keep moving. Looking so good. We got this all the way to the end for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay. Maybe press yourself back into child's pose for a moment. Take a nice little stretch of your shoulders. And then grab yourself some water. We're gonna stay down here on the floor. Next up, we'll do some ab-focused work. Again, you need no equipment. All right, give yourself any sort of shakes or stretches that you want. No more pressure on our hands for today. Next, we're gonna turn over and come onto our backs. And again, we're gonna sort of do a slightly easier move and then transition for a minute following it into something a little bit harder. But we're gonna start nice and easy down here on the floor. Keep in mind that as we do this ab work, if you find anything to be too challenging, putting your thumbs right under your glutes and pressing your hands into the floor and finding a little bit more assistance from your upper body can really help you to find some engagement of your abdominal core and really glue that lower back on the floor, which is so important, which we strive towards. Even though one of these moves, we're definitely going to have our lower backs coming off of the floor just a little bit. All right, but let's get started in tabletop. You can even make tabletop more challenging depending on where your knees are. The closer your knees are to your chest, the easier it's going to be. The more your knees are away from the center line of your body, the harder it's going to be. But the more your knees are away from the center line of your body, the more that lower back is going to want to start arching off the floor. Remember, you can put your thumbs under, but you're going to build more strength when you don't have to put your thumbs under. All right, so our first move is just going to be a toe tap down towards the floor, keeping whatever angle of your knees you decided. If it gets to be too challenging, before you stop, think about just doing one leg at a time. If you need something easier, think about lifting up one leg at a time. Let's go ahead and get started with these. Oh wait, we don't have quite as many minutes of these. Let me change the timer real fast. It's only 8 minutes. We start in 3, 2, 1, 8 minutes of abs. All right, so tapping down. Maybe you even extend your arms out to the side for a little extra challenge, or arms up towards the ceiling so that you're not getting any bracing from your arms towards the floor, and you really have to focus on pulling those abs in to get everything going. Think about pulling from the lower abs to bring those legs back up. So maybe you even work a little bit slower in the negative to bring it all back in. And remember, if you bring your knees closer towards your chest and your heels are a little closer towards your glutes, these toe taps will be easier. And the further things are away from the center line of your body, and the more that your knees don't come quite back over your hips, the more you're gonna feel it in those abs. 10 seconds left right here. Make sure you're still breathing. That's the most important part. Don't hold your breath. 2, 1. Awesome. Release your feet for just a sec, maybe even shake it out. We're going to change it up just a little bit by this time adding a press out. So either one leg at a time pressing out or both legs pressing out. Can you even push through your heels? Do you want to work a little bit harder and even bring your head off of the floor? If you do, resist the urge to hold onto your head with your hands. Maybe your knuckles are braced right by the sides of your head. Make sure that lower back is still on the floor. So if you need to, you can bring your thumbs to your lower back, press through those heels. And if you want, you can always release your head back down towards the floor. You're bringing those heels as close to the mat as feels good for you. So maybe you need to press up more towards the ceiling. And maybe you need to do one knee at a time and find some relaxation with your knees closer towards your chest. You're in charge of how much you're challenging yourself right here. Keep breathing through it. Just about 5 seconds left, and then we get to rest our feet on the floor for the next move. All right, release those feet towards the floor. Go ahead, bring the soles of your feet together and come into a butterfly. You might need to even press into the outsides of your feet to get your glutes comfortable on the floor. We're going to bring our arms up overhead, sit yourself all the way up. Might be a little harder, and then carefully lower yourself down. Begin. If you can, keep your biceps by your ears as long as possible. Really work to move your abs. If you need to, you can throw your arms up a little bit and follow your arms to come towards your feet. Try to resist that urge to throw those arms. See how much you can get your abs to work here. And really focus on lowering down one vertebrae at a time. Still breathing. Way to go. 15 seconds left. Can you pull that belly in a little bit tighter? Awesome. Take a little break. We're going to sit ourselves up next. Yes, and we're going to come into a double knee crunch. So both knees coming in. You can make it easier on yourself by having your hands on the floor. Begin. So similar to that butterfly that we just did, as knees come to your chest, open those knees out. If you want to work a little bit harder, remove your hands from the floor and bring everything up together. I'm going to bring those hands back to the floor to find a little less pressure in that lower back. Getting a little tricep work in here as well. You're welcome. So the soles of the feet might even come more towards each other as those knees draw towards your chest to really come out. And if you need to, you can always bring one knee in at a time, placing one heel down on the floor, just so you can keep moving. Don't stop. Do the best that you can with the body that you have today. Your best is always enough. Less than 10 seconds left right here. Then we get to lay those backs back down on the floor. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Lower yourself all the way down towards the floor. We've got leg lifts. So remember, you can place your thumbs under your bums if you need to. Begin to support yourself as you lower your legs down as low as feels comfortable for you, and then bring them back up. The further that you have your hands away from the center line of your body, the more you're going to challenge those abs. And if you need to come back into a slightly bent knee, that's okay if your legs aren't totally straight, just working to lift those heels a little bit higher and keep those lower backs glued down. Halfway through, more than halfway through, after this move. So close to just stretching. I'm excited. Keep breathing. Remember, if you need to take a quick break, come right back in as quickly as you can. Once those abs start to feel tired, that's where the work starts. Everything up until that point, it's just a little bit of warm-up. It's like a party. Ah, yes. Release those feet towards the floor. Next up, we're going to go for a leg drop. Oh my gosh, this is actually our last ab move. I'm the nicest. All right, so knees bent. Drop those knees over towards the side, gently rolling a little off your back, and then back towards center, and then roll over towards the other side. If you want to work a little bit harder, you can either straighten your legs as they come down, which makes it a lot more challenging, or bend your knees to come down, extend through the heel. Bring it back in towards your chest, roll towards your back. So to the side, extend, bring it in, and back to center. Again, you can always have those hands right by your glutes to help you feel a little bit more supported, either just dropping those knees towards the side or challenging yourself to find this little extra extension as you've rolled over. Keep that upper back particularly glued to the mat, even as that lower back gently lifts and you get a little more onto your hip. Ah, so close. Yay, we made it. Oh my gosh. Grab yourself a quick sip of water. We're gonna stay right down here on the mat. So I just ripped this timer out, the battery out, because I forgot to set the timer for the right amount. Okay. Couple sips of water. Not too much, don't wanna fill those bellies too high. Gently roll back down onto your back and draw your knees in towards your chest for some knees to chest pose. Work to keep that lower back glued down towards the mat. So make sure your knees didn't come up towards your chest so much that you felt that lower glute lift up, and glue that back down, even if your knees come a little further away from your chest. Start to stretch your elbows towards your hips. A gentle tuck of your chin towards your chest will get the back of your neck flatter on the mat. Take 3 more breaths right here. On your exhale, bring your left foot down towards the floor and inhale that right leg up towards the ceiling. You can either grab hold behind the thigh, or maybe you can walk your hands a little further up your leg. If it feels good for you and you can relax your shoulders towards the floor, you can have the option of extending that left leg out as well to feel even more of a stretch throughout the right hamstring, a little more towards the left inner thigh as well. However, if that felt too much for you, go ahead and bring the bend back towards your knee. Take one more big inhale. Here, maybe draw your knee closer towards your nose, but keep that tailbone glued down towards the floor. And on your exhale, take your time, release your right leg to the floor. Maybe even windshield wipe your knees gently right and left. Relieve any tension throughout the hip. Glue your right foot to the floor and inhale your left leg up towards the ceiling. If you can grab hold of the back of your leg, great. If you can't grab hold of the back of the leg, I guarantee just trying to stretch your leg up towards the ceiling, you'll feel something through your hamstring. If you can, walk your hands a little further up your calf and then use your exhale, relax your shoulders back down towards the mat. With that lower back, once again, intentionally glued towards the floor, you can wiggle or walk your right foot all the way out to just increase the stretch one more time. Relax those shoulders back down towards the floor. Focus on really slowing down your breath. On your next inhale, see if you can draw your knee a little closer towards your nose. And on your exhale, gently release. Bring the left foot down to the floor. You can bring your right foot back in if you extended it out. Once more, take a little windshield wipe of your legs right and left. Extend your arms all the way out towards your side. Bring your feet together. Maybe even press into the soles of your feet and roll over to whichever hip feels right for you to come to a spine twist. Use your exhale to relax the opposite shoulder towards the floor as much as possible. And if it feels good for your neck, On your next exhale, turn your chin away from the direction your knees are bent. Do a little scan of your body from head to toe and just notice where you might be harboring any tension. Can you use your exhale to bring a little more relaxation into your upper body, into your abs, into your glutes and your quads? Take 2 more slow breaths right here. And on your exhale, gently roll over onto your back, press into your feet to help lift your hips. Roll over onto the opposite side and drop your knees in that direction. No judgment, whatever your body is able to do on this side. Both sides of the body aren't even. If it feels good for you, use your exhale to turn your chin away from the direction of your knees and start the scan of your body from head to toe. Just notice on your exhale particularly, where can you bring a little bit more relaxation? On your next exhale, gently roll over onto your back once more. Let's bring our knees in towards our chest. See if you can bring that knees to chest a little bit deeper. A little extra stretch of your elbows towards your hips while still keeping your sacrum down on the floor. And then we'll gently roll ourselves over. Take a moment, come into tabletop. Give yourself a couple cat-cows right here. Pressing into your hands, palms with those arms nice and straight. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Look towards your knees, towards your belly button. Keeping those arms straight. Pass through to cow. Allow your chest to come closer towards your biceps. Press your knees into the floor. Feel the separation of your glutes as you stretch your eyes, nose, chin up towards the ceiling. If it feels good for you, take some wiggles of your cat or cow's tail, maybe a little bit of both. You can experiment with giving yourself some big circles through your hips. Or maybe your upper body is really tired and you want to bring some big circles to your shoulders instead. If you do it in one direction, just make sure you give yourself the opportunity to go in the opposite direction as well. Just a couple more passes through. And then as you're ready, open your knees nice and wide. Send your hips towards your heels. Walk those hands forward and come into child's pose. Allow your head to relax down towards the mat. Biceps once again by your ears. Head coming below heart's level is going to help to bring your heart rate down even more. Come back towards your breath. Use your inhale to walk your hands forward. Feel that nice stretch all the way down through to your lower back, and use your exhale to work to bring your hips a little closer towards your heels. Keep those hands, palms active on the floor. On your next inhale, pull yourself through slowly all the way through, coming to Cobra, either with your forearms flat on the mat and your elbows underneath of your shoulders, or press into your hands, palms, lift yourself up into seal. Really work to push your pubic mound towards the floor, maybe even getting that belly button closer towards the floor. Press into your hands, palms, hands open a little bit wider. It can be a little easier in this posture to feel a big stretch onto your lower back. Then go ahead, tuck your toes under, walk your hands in just a little bit if you walk them out. Send your hips up towards the ceiling. Take a moment in down dog. You can take a generous bend of your knees, pedal through one heel and then the other to get a big stretch through those calves. And then as you're ready, walk your hands to your feet or your feet to your hands. Bring the weight back to your heels. Bend your knees as generously as you need to support your belly on your thighs, or straighten your legs. Bring your head a little closer towards the floor. Either way, you'll get a nice stretch through your hamstrings while stretching your glutes towards the back of the room. Take a moment, shake your head yes. Shake your head no. Take a generous bend of your knees. If it wasn't there, return the weight to your heels and slowly roll yourself up one vertebrae at a time. At the top, stack your shoulders over your hips. Inhale your arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Look up towards the ceiling, stretch through your fingers, stretch so much as you ground your feet that you feel that big stretch on your belly. Go ahead, draw your right elbow down and back like you're pulling on a bow. Elbow comes towards the spine, and then inhale, right arm back up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring that left hand all the way down and back. You can turn and look over your shoulder. One more big stretch through the sides of the body. Inhale, back up, arms overhead. Ground your feet, pull your belly in, and as you're ready, exhale your arms down to the side. Find whatever reaches or twists feel right for you. Take a moment as your arms relax down, just in your stillness in mountain pose. Take a moment to just allow today's core engagement and stretch to settle in. And make sure you breathe in some pride. I hope you're feeling good about coming to today's class. If y'all